Welcome back, everyone. Let's come inside. It's a little bit warmer here in Rexall Place as the Edmonton Oilers get set to take on the Phoenix Coyotes. Let's meet the starting goaltenders, brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official copy of the NHL. Devan Dubnyk gets the call, his first start since November the 25th. He was brilliant in relief of the injured Ilya Bryzgalov in Dallas on Sunday. Stopped 15 of 16 shots for his 7th win of the year. And at the other end, well, 31-year-old Mike Smith was one of 5 goalies invited to the Olympic orientation, but he's been nothing Olympic of late. He's lost his last 4, and in those 4 losses, Louis has allowed 15 goals and giving up goals very uncharacteristic for Dave Tippett's Phoenix Coyotes teams.
Yeah, a team that really prides themselves on the defense aspect of the game first and then looks to score goals. For Dallas Eakins, very similar model for him as well. Wants his team to defend well before looking for offensive opportunities. So it should make for a pretty good matchup and game between these two. They had a good one the last time they met.
Last time they met was October 26th in Phoenix. The Oilers lost that game by the score of 5-4. These teams are going to meet 5 times this season. And we are underway. The top line for the Oilers gets the start as usual. Hall, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle. And it is Grebeshkov with Schultz. Antoine Vermette with the puck now. Antoine Vermette drops it back for Stone. He throws it into the corner. Picked up there by Rob Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson throws it around the boards. The Phoenix Coyotes lost to Chicago at home on Saturday by the score of 5-2. You knew the Oilers defeated Dallas on Sunday in a shootout. Smith plays it himself and a nice pass up to Klinkhammer. Into the shift, he'll fire it in.
One of the things the Oilers will have to be aware of with Smith, he is an excellent mover of the puck in that goaltending position. You saw that pass tape to tape up the wall.
And Hemsky's shot went up and hit Derek Morris. He continues on.
Tough Albertan right there, just kind of shrugged it off.
Wow. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by the 2013 Ford Super Duty. It's built Ford tough.
Well, for the Edmonton Oilers, Kevin, they have 5 games in a row at home here. Nice little homestand to get heated up and hot at home with only 3 wins on the season on Rexall Ice, and they'll want to do better in that situation. And for the Coyotes, it's the first period and be better in that first, score that first goal. Only 1 first period goal in their last 5 games. And when they do score first, they get a pretty darn good record.
They've fallen behind a couple of times by the score of 3-0, including the game against Chicago. They're down 3-0, and as Dave Tippett said this morning, you're chasing the game. And it's very difficult to win in this league when you fall behind, even in the first period.
Even against good teams especially. They just make you pay for every mistake you make when they're pushing the issue like that. Not the game he wants to play.
Ales Hemsky with the puck now. Ryan Jones on that line. His Ferentz walks down the middle, takes the shot, and then hit Martin Hansel, and that hurt him. Another shot, and Smith holds onto it as Hansel is still down after blocking that shot.
Yeah, Martin Hansel really didn't react well after that shot, and in a lot of pain. You can tell a big man at 6'6", excellent at shot blocking as well. And it was a wrister by Ferentz that he stands in front of, obviously hits him lower in the leg and the foot area. Sorry, it was in the outside of the knee. So that dead foot reaction there when you get hit there, there's not a whole lot of padding, a lot of nerves that go through there. And by getting hit in the face, you mentioned earlier, Derek Morris just takes one up high, shrugs it off, and stays right in the motion of the play. So a couple Coyotes getting hurt on that play. One stays in, and for Martin Hansel getting looked at right now.
Morris is Edmonton native. And a penalty coming up. The net is empty for the Phoenix Coyotes. 6 attackers out there as the Oilers penalty killers have to go to work right here. And it's going to be an interference call to David Perron.
Just on the entry by Phoenix.
Starting lineups are brought to you by Boston Pizza, your hockey headquarters destination.
David Perron in the box here, Kevin, as you mentioned, for interference, and just kind of the little pick there, right there, leaning in with the left arm over top of the shoulder. Impedes the forward motion, and he'll go to the box. He hopes for 2.
Power play that was 2 for 6 in the game against Edmonton on the 26th. The Oilers 13th best at home when it comes to killing penalties.
1 minute 48 seconds. The Oilers penalty Perron.
Here's Ekman-Larsson. He throws it towards the net, deflected in front. Another opportunity for Vermette. And Devan Dubnyk makes 2 quick saves. Vermette has it again. Out there with Doan. Ekman, Larson, and Yandel are on the point. They go cross ice, picked up there by Ribeiro. Back to Yandel, quick shot, that one goes wide. Petrie's got it, he'll play it off the boards. And was knocked down with a high stick, so the Oilers in no hurry to touch it.
Kevin, as you mentioned, a team that comes in here losing 3 of the last 4 games, the Phoenix Coyotes, the power play hasn't been the problem for them. They've had good success as of late with 9 power play goals in their last 10 games played. So the one area that they are excelling at is the man advantage. Having the man advantage, that isn't for Dave Tippett. Obviously, he looks at the game in an entirely different way. Yes, that's great, but he wants them to play defense first. But we'll take the power play goals.
Well, the problem for them is they've got 20 power play goals, but only 7 of them have come away from Jobing.com Arena. They're the 6th best power play, but it dropped to 17th on the road.
Yeah, it was the power play in the last matchup on October 26. 2 power play goals by Yandel and Ekman Larson in the third period sealed the deal for Phoenix over Edmonton in the first matchup between these 2 teams. So obviously for Edmonton, discipline will also be a key in this game to stay out of the box.
And the guy that got the power play goal against Chicago, Martin Hanzal, they were 1 for 5. He is shaken up early. Now he's hopping over the boards. He's on the ice right now.
I've had that injury or that little bit of a problem when you get hit in the outside of the knee. It goes dead for a little while, called dead foot, but sometimes it comes back right away. It looks like Martin Hanzal is no worse for wear.
Bravada gave that puck away to Sam Gagner, who sends it down the ice. 33 seconds left to go, and the penalty to David Perron, and a great penalty kill for the Oilers so far. 2 shots given up. Ekman Larson, quick pass to Bravada. Bravada throws it around the boards. Doesn't get to Hanzal. Elov cut it off. Boxer in there. Does get it to Hanzal. Here is Schlemko with a shot tipped to the side of the net by Bravada. Then spinning around and scoring is Mikhail Boedker. It's 1-0 for the Coyotes. A power play goal.
And we talked about how important it was for Phoenix to get on the board early. Only 1 first period goal in the last 5 games they played. And an excellent penalty kill up into this point for the Edmonton Oilers as they've just been good getting the pucks right here. Just solid work down low by Boedker. Hanzal digs it out to Schlemko. And it's the shot pass that ricochets onto Dubnyk. And this juicy rebound comes right out to a spinning Boedker. Everybody goes by. Boedker just spins on the puck. He finds it and puts it home to give his team a 1-0 lead.
His 3rd power play goal of the season. He's got 7 goals on the year.
And a little change up in the lineup for Dave Tippett before this game. In the warm-up was Boedker that gets inserted up on the top line with Ribeiro and Doan. And David Moss, who is in that position, will play down on a line with Vermette and Klinkhammer. So that little shuffling sparks Boedker, and he gets on the board early.
4th line shakeup as well. Jordan Schwartz, number 29, replaces Paul Bissonnette. Oh, Boedker gets his team on the board. 3:37 in.
And number 6,
Lemko and Bravada get the helpers. And now Bravada has the team lead in points. He's got 23 on the year with his 15th assist. And the 8th power play goal on the road for the Phoenix Coyotes. Another loose puck in front. And Devan Dubnyk covers it up before Schwartz could get there.
Here's the basket of half-eaten zucchini sticks from the win known as Money Monday.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Well, Louis, you talked about the keys to the game for the Phoenix Coyotes and being first in the first.
Yeah, incredible. You look at 16 goals on the year, 25th in the National Hockey League. That's where they rank. They really turn it up a notch in the 2nd and 3rd period, 3rd and 5th. So no question, a team that excels when they get on the board early and carry it forward. And they get one early from Boedker on the power play. It's been red hot for them.
Well, Dave Tippett talked about it this morning. He said one of the keys for them is not to fall behind 3-0 like they did against Chicago. Perron sends it to the net, and Yakupov looks for the rebound. He got knocked down there by Connor Murphy. And those are 2 guys familiar with each other.
Yeah, they played together in Sarnia. A nice little tap in the warm-up. They kind of skated by, stopped, went back, said a quick little hello, and then get back to work because we're playing against one another tonight. So nice to see Murphy and Yakupov play together for a year and showing that friendship on the ice.
Nail Yakupov, all his points have come on the power play, all his goals that is. But he's got 4 points in 4 games against the Desert Dogs. Oilers putting on some pressure here. It's Everly with the puck now. Everly throws it out in front of a good defensive play there by Doan. as Justin Schultz was coming down back door.
That was a really good play by Doan because Justin Schultz was in stealth mode there, sneaking back door, and Doan at the last second spots him and denies for that pass.
As we mentioned off the top of the show, Doan in his 18th year in the National Hockey League. He has the puck right now. He'll give it to Bottcher. Bottcher stops up, cannot get by Grebeshkov. Grebeshkov makes a good defensive play and feeds Eberle. Eberle across the blue line. Out to the half wall. Eberle moves it to the middle. Both Hall and Nugent Hopkins were there. Michael Stone. Quick pass to Bottcher. Bottcher to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Ekman-Larsson across the blue line to the middle to Ribeiro. Ribeiro gets surrounded, gave the puck away, and Jones played it nicely off the boards, and it comes to Gagne. Gagne to Hamsky. Jones going to the front of the net. Gagne with the puck now. Sam Gagne down low. Tim Kennedy gave him a shot as he centered it out in front for Ryan Jones, who was stopped by Smith. Verbata. Cross ice to Tim Kennedy. Kennedy flips it in. Hansel will give chase. Ference with his head on a swivel with the big man bearing down on him. Petrie plays it around the boards. Waiting for it there is Hemsky to the middle to Gagne. Sam Gagne. Cross ice for Ference. Ference scored the tying goal in that game against the Dallas Stars on Sunday. Ference still looking for his first assist as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Kicked by Hansel. No icing. Good soccer player, Louis. I guess you know he's a good tennis player.
Yeah, both Hansel and Verbata with tennis courts in their backyard back in Czech in the summertime. So both of them. Some good footwork down there.
Slemko, another Edmonton native. Flips that puck high, trying to get it to Chipchura. Chipchura had Schwartz with him. Handel takes a look. He'll have time as the Oilers make a change. 12:49 left to go in this first period. 5 shots for the Oilers, 4 for the Coyotes, who have a 1-0 lead. Marcabello with some speed to Perron. Perron checked by Yandel. And it's offside at the Coyote blue line. Rogers Oilers hockey from Rexall Place here in Edmonton.
Sam Gagne currently on a 3-game point scoring streak. What a recovery it's been for him after suffering a broken jaw. Lots of support from the Edmonton Oilers, and someone else helped nurse him back to health. That is his fiancée, Rachel Linke. Now, she isn't a nurse. She is now a full-fledged doctor after graduating in 2013, most recently this summer. And she is now working in family medicine. So in Sam's case, some doctors still are making house calls.
Absolutely. Sam Gagne in his 16th game. He had an assist against Dallas. As Gene mentioned, a 3-game point streak for him. On the ice right now, has the puck against Tim Kennedy. Gets it to Hemsky. Ference to Jones at center. Checked by Kennedy. Verbata comes back and plays it off the boards. Right there is Jones in front of his own bench. Checked by Hansel. And Yandel retreats. Yandel, 16 assists on the season, leads his team. And a lot of offense from the defense of this Coyotes team. Ference, cross ice, picked up there by Hemsky, crisscrossing with Gagne. Sam Gagne throws it towards the net, that went off Yandel's stick. Comes around to the near side. A giveaway, gobbled up by Gagne, looking for Hall. Hall turns, here is Hemsky with a blast. And the end of his shift, a good one as he let that shot go. Everly Nugent Hopkins will join Taylor Hall with 11:34 to go in this first period.
Well, time to play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Noreen Schwalm of Wembley could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
Having a good chance created off the offensive attack there again by Edmonton. Nice little play by Gagne, trying to put it through to Taylor Hall, and then cycling in to the high slot as Hamsky. He gets a real quick one-timer away that gets deflected, but has a chance because he gets it away quick.
Alex Hemsky loves playing the Phoenix Coyotes. His 34th game. He's got 34 career points. Ekman-Larsson unable to keep it in at the point. He is paired with Michael Stone. Stone goes right up the middle, and a pass intended for Vermette didn't work, so we'll come back down into Coyote territory.
And, you know, two teams that aren't known for their stretch passing, but they have the defensemen that are capable of doing it. Grebeshkov is one of them for Edmonton. You saw there Ekman Larsson back in the defense corps for the Coyotes is a guy that likes to look up ice every once in a while for that guy that's flying the zone. Both teams don't send guys too often, but we're seeing it trickle into Edmonton's game a little bit as well. Sending that forward up the ice, looking for that stretch.
Nugent Hopkins up against Antoine Vermette. 8th in the league in faceoffs is Antoine Vermette. From the draw, controlled by the Coyotes. Moss, Klinkhammer, going after that puck. Grebishkov defending. Nugent Hopkins in there to help out as Moss ends up in the corner. Now it comes free. Taylor Hall played that to an open wing. Schultz trying to catch up, and Ekman Larsson was ahead of him. Ekman Larsson should be playing for Sweden in the Olympics come February.
That's a no-brainer.
7th among defensemen in points.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Well, Kevin, you talked about Ekman Larsson and the offense from the defense of the Phoenix Coyotes this year, first in the National Hockey League in goals with 19 and tied for second with 68 points in total. So getting it done back there. Obviously, Keith Yandel, Ekman Larsson, a big part of that. But Derek Morris mentioned earlier with 4 goals on the year and 8 assists for 12 points. He's having a good year. The old guy from Alberta still kicking pretty strong.
16th year in the league for Derek Morris, and we saw the toughness as he took a puck right off the face. Schultz, Nick brings it in, knocked down by Derek Morris. He'll give it to Schlemko. Schlemko, he gave it away. Moving in, Arcabello drop pass. Here's Perron with a shot, and he scores. Arcabello sets up Perron. We're tied at 1.
And Kevin, a little redemption for David Perron after he took that penalty that led to the power play goal for the Phoenix Coyotes. Good entry here by Edmonton, getting a puck in deep. Looks like a routine D-to-D, but Schlemko just mishandles it. It's the pressure of Perron that makes him lose that puck. A little drop pass by Arcabello after the pickoff right to Perron. He does the right thing. He's looking to pass, zings it towards the net, and ties this game 1-1. He's got a great shot. He's in the wheelhouse. Get it there, and it converts.
David Perron, his 10th goal of the season. He has the team lead in goals. And Mark Arcabello gets his first point in his last 8 games. And this one is tied up. The celebration for Perron as he now has 9 points in his last 8 games.
Yeah, he's been red hot. Just a nice shot there, low side to beat Smith and tie the game 1-1. And good pressure by Edmonton. All 3 forwards are in the offensive zone there, taking space away. And for Schlemko, the Edmonton native, just maybe saw a little bit too much blue in front of him and coughed it up.
Oilers with 7 shots, the Coyotes with 4. But 3 of those shots came on the power play, so they have just 1 shot halfway through this period, 5-on-5. Paul E. dangerously moved. Didn't miss a step in the stats department on that road trip. He was here. The kid sharp.
Yep, never misses.
Romero, quick shot by Yandel. And that is sent up into the mesh. And we get a whistle. Rogers Oilers hockey here at Rexall Place. It'll be Rogers Place in a few years.
Can't use your seats for a game? Well, donate them to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Stantec. Visit the community page at edmontonoilers.com for more information.
Igor Altukov of Edmonton entered the score and win and has won the Bradley Original Electric Smoker courtesy of Safeway and Kraft Salad Dressing and David Perron. Congratulations, Igor, as David Perron gets his 10th goal of the season and takes over the team lead that he shared with Jordan Eberle. 9:51, the time of the goal. Bodger was the goal scorer. He'll give it back to Yandel. Throws it towards the net. Went off Grebishkov and wide. Dolan behind the net it goes. Here's Ribeiro. Mike Ribeiro. A shifty center. He lost it there to Grebishkov. Bodger tries to help out, but it's Nugent Hopkins who has it. Nugent Hopkins dishes to Hall. Taylor Hall back to the point. Grebishkov swings it over and then off. Justin Schultz then out. Dolan behind the net. Shane Doan gets cut off there by Grebeshkov. Grebeshkov moves it to Nugent Hopkins, and now it's Eberle. With Nugent Hopkins and Hall. Drop pass, Justin Schultz out in front for Hall. 2 cracks at it, put the second one wide. Ekman-Larsson starts back the other way for Phoenix. Trying to chip it in. Justin Schultz prevented that as the Coyotes make a change. 8:27 to go here in the first period of a 1-1 game. Verbata to Hansel up the middle. Hansel, one-handed shot, and Dubnyk handles that easily, and he'll cover up.
Wise decision by Dubnyk there to cover that one up. With people barreling down him, we talk about limited time in the defensive zone. Watch Dennis Grebeshkov here just close out Shane Doan. Not easy to do. A big customer makes a good play up the wall, and it leads to a chance for Edmonton in the offensive zone. 3-on-2. Hull driving to the net, has a good look at the second opportunity that sits in front of him. So good defense leading to offense for Edmonton on that short little pinch-off play by Grebeshkov.
Gagne gets thrown into the circle. Ryan Jones will step in against Hansel, and he wins it. He's doing everything. Schlemko keeps it in. Tipped into the corner. Picked up there by Ferentz. Ferentz to Jones. Chops it out to center. Hemsky. Nice pass to Gagne. Gagne with speed across the line. Trying to get a shot away. Blocked by Schlemko. And then Gagne goes down. Jones carries on. He'll give it to Hemsky. Hemsky checked by Kennedy. Petrie with it now. Petrie down low. Gagne lets it go around for Ferentz, who pinches in. Andrew Ferentz throws it in front. Petrie steps into a slap shot, and that was blocked this time by Kennedy. He tried to send away Verbata, but that line gets stung by shots.
Well, good job by Kennedy to stay with it after taking a real hard shot by Petrie. You can see him just kind of putting some weight on the foot now. Looks like he's going to be okay, so it hit him in a good spot in the skate, but that was a blast.
Dubnyk gives it away. Klinkhammer shot. Dubnyk recovers and makes the save. Rob Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer back to the point, but Murphy unable to keep it in. Quickly to Vermette. He's got Klinkhammer and Moss with him. Klinkhammer with the puck now. Trying to get it back to him, but there is Mark Arcabello. He'll lead the rush. Give it to Perron. Perron, and one too many moves at the blue line. They're offside.
Sportsnet Magazine is out this week with our 3rd annual awards issue featuring the most amazing moments of national pride to the wildest conspiracy theory. Plus, we unveil Sportsnet's Canadian Athlete of the Year. Subscribe today to Sportsnet Magazine at sportsnet.ca/magazine.
I know Gene is high in the voting for that one because of his play and touch football game in Dallas.
Yeah, MVP.
He was the MVP, so look for his name on the ballot. Shots have evened up. They're now 7 apiece. Alpern wins that draw. Murphy. Chipchura. 4th line for the Coyotes on the ice right now. Murphy at the point. Let the wrist shot go deflected. And Dubnyk had to make a good save and did. Ryan Smith. Will Acton. Jesse Owenssu. Smith blazing himself. Off the boards, just out of the reach of Chipchura. Beloff cuts it off. They both go into the boards heavily. Alpern keeps it alive. He's chipped by Will Acton. Alpern goes down, gets back up again. He's not going to get the whistle. The puck's still alive. Schultz helping out. He gets chipped by Chipchura. Kyle Chipchura. Back to the point it comes. Swung around by Ekman-Larsson all the way around to the near side. Ryan Smith waiting for it. He gets the puck to Acton. Acton. Owenssu. Got Acton in front. Owenssu waits. Back to the point it comes. Justin Schultz gets stopped by Halpern. And Grebeshkov retreats back into his own zone as the Oilers get their top line back out there. The Oilers will take on Colorado on Thursday and then welcome Calgary on Saturday. We'll have the game for you against Colorado. A chance to see the Avalanche and Patrick Waugh here at Rexall Place on Thursday.
2 young, talented teams going at it. Always seem to bring the best out of one another as well. Usually a high-paced, fast, end-to-end game between those 2 teams.
Eberle works his way in, trying to get it to Hall. He was checked before he could get the shot away by Ribeiro. Eberle, good job to keep it in. Hall, Eberle, cutting for the net. Here's Eberle. Smith trying to cover up. Nugent Hopkins put it just wide. Stone dropped his stick. He's got it back again. Eberle again. Here's that backhand. He slid it through the blue paint. Great shift by this top line as they keep control of the puck. Eberle with it now. He'll give it to Hall. Hall in the corner. Hall. He's got Petrie in the middle. Here is Petrie trying to feed it through. Blocked by Stone. Nugent Hopkins. Great move to get away. Here is Nugent Hopkins putting it in front. Petrie keeps it in at the point to Hall. Hall throws it towards the net. Eberle knocks it down there. Jordan Eberle cycles with Hall. Taylor Hall. Back to the point it comes, and unable to keep it in was the captain, Ferentz. The end of the shift for that top line, but they had as what we call now, Louis, zone time.
They really did. Good puck possession, good retrieval after they lost it a couple of times, but excellent defense by the Phoenix Coyotes to just nullify a couple in-tight passes and block 2 or 3 shot attempts by Edmonton to get it through. But I like the urgency of the top line battling for those loose pucks of Edmonton. They created some good chances there.
Petrie to Ferentz. Petrie, quick pass for Gagne. Gagne manages to stay onside, flips it to the corner. Hemsky knocks it down, gives it to Jones. Ryan Jones trying to avoid Hansel, and look at the strength of number 11. They'll start the rush after that takeaway. Derek Morris with it now. Morris throws it towards the net. That one goes wide. Hansel waiting for the far side. He threw it towards the cage, but there was Beloff to pick it off. Nick Schultz takes a bump from Hansel as he delivers the puck deep. Klemko to Morris for David Moss. Off the boards. Schultz. Klinkhammer on the steal. Here is Klinkhammer. Now to Murphy. Murphy behind the net. Antoine Vermette leaves it for Moss. Moss checked there by Arcabello, and Arcabello strips the bigger man of the puck. Arcabello for David Perron. That was a hot pass. Too hot to handle for Perron.
And you bring up a good point there, too, on Arcabello, Kevin. He goes in against a big man and David Moss, but he uses his whole body, finishes the check first, separates him from the puck, and then gets his feet moving to get it out of the zone.
Came into the game with 45 hits. Rogers Oilers hockey right here on Sportsnet.
Well, Jason LaBarbera, all smiles this morning and looking pretty good as well on the bench this evening as he's back with the Edmonton Oilers after being sent to OKC. The travel is a little different in the American Hockey League. The Barons were playing in San Antonio. We're supposed to bus home after the game. 7-hour ride. The bus broke down. Now, they had a game the next night, so the next morning on 3 different flights, LaBarbera and the rest of his teammates flew home and made it in time for the game. But for LaBarbera, he was cutting it close.
Racking up the air miles. Jason LaBarbera played 4 years with the Phoenix Coyotes. And he was the starter, Louis, in that game, October 26th. Evan Dubnyk relieved him for 39 seconds.
Man, total off. Pretty fired up, tried to break his stick, showed some emotion, got thrown right back in there, played real well. And the Oilers had the lead in that third period, 4-3, but it was a couple quick power play goals that allowed Phoenix to pull that one out in the third period and win that game.
And a couple of goals that went in off Oilers. And Dallas Aiken talked about that start and how they were kind of unlucky in the desert back in the middle of October.
And I think that was part of the frustration for LaBarbera. Obviously facing his old team, he wants to come up with a big performance, getting a start against them, and you know, things just weren't going the Oilers' way or his way in the way that the goals were going by him. So the frustration came out, but he got back in there, played a solid game, and unfortunately came out on the losing end of that game as Phoenix was able to win it. But you always want to do well against your old teams, especially when you're a goaltender and you get to start. You want to kind of prove them wrong for letting you go.
A 193 goals against and a 953 save percentage in his 2 appearances in Oklahoma. Petrie squeezes off Kennedy, and that is going to cost Jeff Petrie 2 minutes in the box for interference.
And just a little poke of the puck here. Kennedy, we talked about his speed this morning, watching him in the morning skate. A young guy, has a lot of wheels to go, and this puck bounces around a little bit. Edmonton had a couple chances to get the puck deep. They don't. And as it comes back, Kennedy just right there, a little mishandling by Petrie, and it's that extra little shove by Petrie as he's going to the puck. Instead of moving the feet a couple times to gain body position, uses his arms and takes out Kennedy, and Phoenix will get their second power play of the game.
Coyotes came in at 16th in power plays. They've added to it, as Louis mentioned, at 3:37 of the first period. Yandle's shot doesn't make it through. Ferentz stop, another opportunity, and that one dribbles just wide. Vermette will give it to Ribeiro. Back to Ekman-Larsson. Ekman-Larsson goes cross ice. Here is Yandle firing a shot off the stick of Arcobello and wide. Arcobello and Smith, along with Ferentz and Nick Schultz, the penalty killers. Yandle, Ekman-Larsson, Ribeiro. Here's Yandle's shot, and that one went off Ferentz. The Oilers 5th in the league in block shots. A couple there on this penalty kill. Cross seam pass, and it is knocked out of the air smartly by Ryan Smith. That will allow a change of the penalty killers. Vermette stopped on the entry by Schultz. Anton Bella has an opportunity to take his time with less than a minute to go in this period. Gets it down the ice. Perron going after it. The Oilers 13th best at home on the penalty kill, 17th overall. Bodker cruises into the zone. He's the goal scorer. Bodker. He'll go cross ice. Yandle back to Ekman-Larsson, throws it towards the net, deflected, and Dubnyk make the save with big Martin Hanzal right there on the doorstep.
That really is an imposing figure standing in front of the goaltender. Good thing for Devan Dubnyk that he's also 6'6" because he can stand up to a big guy in Martin Hanzal, who's that size as well. But a good little play here by the Coyotes. You can tell why they're hot right now on the power play. Good funneling to the net of bodies, and the defenseman Ekman-Larsson, especially in Yandle, love to shoot it. Not a bomb, just get it down past the first defender, don't allow it to get blocked, and it creates a real good opportunity with a big body in front.
28 seconds left to go in the period, 23 seconds left to go in the power play. A cross seam pass does not work, and Verbata retreats. He'll give it to Yandle. Michael Stone is the other defenseman on the ice right now as Nick Schultz grabs that puck and sends it down the ice.
Good stick first by Schultz, and then a good step up there to read the play and put it down another 100 feet, kill some more time.
Penalty is over. Teams are back on the ice, and the period now comes to a close. So the Oilers still looking for their first power play opportunity, Jeff Marek. The Desert Dogs are 1 for 2. They score the first goal, but the Oilers respond.
Nice little surmise of that first period, Kevin. And there's an interesting little face-off story going on right now between these two teams with Boyd Gordon out of the lineup for the Oilers. John Shannon breaks down that story in a couple of seconds. Also, Gene Principe in conversation with your Oilers goal scorer David Perron. Bodker and Perron exchanging goals. Were tied at 1s after 20 minutes of play.
Well, we're through 20 minutes of play in the Alberta capital, and both teams able to capitalize on at least one chance. The game is tied at 1-1 between Phoenix and Edmonton. Well, now we're joined by Mark Spector, and one of the nice stories so far during training camp and into the regular season has been Mark Arcobello. Do you think he continues to, I don't know if it surprised people, but continues to play well, Mark?
Well, I'll tell you what, he continues to surprise me. Over the course of a reporter's career, there's guys you look at and you go, no, he's not going to play. Arcobello's one of those guys for me. Then I come to the rink and I watch him play. This kid has become such a hot topic here in Edmonton. He's basically the 5th centerman. He's been out of the lineup. He's in tonight for Boyd Gordon, but watch him play here. He knows that he's not the shooter on this line, but David Perron sure is. A nifty little drop pass. He puts it in the right place, delivers it to the right guys, and then I want you to watch this play on the back check here. This is a guy who's about 5'8". Watch him knock David Moss off the puck. Thank you very much. Takes that puck, gets it going in the right direction. I'll tell you, I'm not a guy that's on record as being a big believer. He's going to block a shot right there on the PK. He has proven me wrong. He's proven everybody wrong. He's going to find himself a job in the National Hockey League here for a full-time basis.
Well, Jordan Eberle has 9 goals, Mark, but do you think he should have more, meaning he should shoot more?
Look, when a sports writer starts telling Jordan Eberle how to score goals, you're probably going down the wrong track, but I'm going to say this for sure, because Claire Drake taught it to me. If you don't shoot it, it ain't going in. There's a shot he passed up. Now watch this one, folks. Gets a nice pass wide open in the slot, and he goes to the backhand on the bad angle. Look, Jordan Eberle has forgotten more about scoring than I'm going to know, but I'm going to tell you right there was 2 good chances for shots on goal from in close. How did Perron score, guys? He blew one past Smith from 15 feet. Eberle would like those ones back.
Louis and Kevin, take it away for the second.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Jordan Eberle with one shot in that first period. He has 76 now on the season as we get set for the start of the second period. As the guys mentioned, tied at 1. Ryan Jones, Sam Gagner, and Ales Hemsky start this period. Drevishkov and Justin Schultz on the blue line. The Coyotes ended up with 11 shots in that period. 7 of the last 8 shots were taken by Phoenix. Drevishkov being watched by Hansel, sends it around for Schultz. Lost it to Kennedy. Hansel with it now. Hansel trying to center it for Verbata, and it gets behind him. Diving is Schlemko to keep it in. Schultz sees that both teams want to make changes. As Hemsky heads to the bench along with Jones. Gagner is out there to try and get this puck out of the zone. He'll get it to Hall. That will allow him to get off the ice eventually and give way to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Taylor Hall, 7 points in his last 7 games. He's got 19 on the season. The Coyotes, a first of a 4-game road trip for them. They're ranked 16th on the road. They're 6-5-2. They'll be in Calgary tomorrow night, and then Vancouver on Friday. Doan in his skates, could not get the shot away. Hall picks it up. Hall off the end of his stick, right to Smith, and he's going to play that down. And does he have the carom? No. Let's take a look at the first period scoring summary, brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord.
Oh, it was Mikhail Bodker that got things going on the power play for the Phoenix Coyotes with his 7th, and then David Perron with his 10th, tied at 9:51. And a good period for both sides, generating some chances. The Coyotes out shooting Edmonton 11-8. They're the only 2 power plays in that first period as well.
Arcabello wins another draw. Mark Arcabello, first among rookies in the face-off circle. There's a shot by Perron, stopped by Smith, comes back to the point. Petrie keeps it in. What have you thought about this line being put together for the first time? Arcabello, Perron, and Yakubov.
I like it. I like the way that Arcabello's played in that first 20 minutes. You heard Mark Spector talk a little bit about him and the little things that he does so well. And for this line to be effective, though, they're going to have to get pucks in deep, cycle it, and work off the cycle. And make sure they spend limited time in the defensive zone.
Here's a turnover. Perron is checked. Arcabello tied for first among rookies in assists with Nathan McKinnon. McKinnon will be here on Thursday. As that puck gets deflected up into the netting.
And obviously scoring a goal is a good thing to boost the line's morale. And anytime you go out there with new bodies and generate that one high-quality chance and get a goal, it's nice. And here's another quick chance for Perron, and a good stick and a good transition by the Phoenix Coyotes. And that's where you play with fire. Any Dave Tippett coach team always good with their sticks, and it leads them into the right positions onto the ice. And very difficult to pass and skate through on a regular basis.
Dave Tippett, the winningest coach in Phoenix Coyotes history. He's got 171 victories behind the bench for the Coyotes. Here's another giveaway. Chipchura trying to take advantage. Now Chipchura. He'll give it to Halpern behind the net for Schwartz. Schwartz checked by Beloff. Chipchura being watched by Nick Schultz. Comes out of the corner, 4th line, putting on pressure. Schwartz checked by Beloff one more time. Here's Chipchura. Kyle Chipchura looks for Schwartz in the middle, locked over his stick, trying to keep it in with Ekman Larson. Now the Oilers will start away. And it's active. D. Johansson. Drop pass for Smith. Smith. His shot stopped by the other Smith. Acton and Johansson looking for the rebounds. And a little pushing and shoving there involving Will Acton and Michael Stone. Schwartz trying to pull on Will Acton to get him away. Chipchura knocked the helmet of Johansson off. Hey, how can you tell there's 2 4th lines out there, Louis?
Driving to the blue paint.
If you're looking for commercial insurance or risk management services, contact us to see what the power of insight can do for you.
Will Acton here just dishes it wide. Little drop by Johansson, and he drives himself to the net. I like the fact that all 3 Oilers converge to the net. Phoenix is going to protect that house. So some elbows, some fists, and some words flying in the blue paint by both sides. The first time we've seen this in this game. But it all resulted from getting a puck into Smith, driving in there looking for a rebound. So fourth line trying to get the board and make something happen.
Vrbata, Hansel, and Kennedy out there now against the Gagne line. Derek Morris right up the middle for Hansel, pushes it to Vrbata. Vrbata winds, fires a shot, and an easy blocker save for Devin Dubnyk. Hamsky to Gagne. To Jones, backtracked there by Derek Morris, who sends it down the ice, and that's going to come back the other way on the icing call.
Good hit there by Ryan Jones to cause that icing by Morris as he gets in aggressively in the forecheck. We talked about Phoenix struggling finding goals in the first period. In the last 5 games, only 1 first-period goal, but when they do score first over the last few years, Kevin, from 2009 and 10, .849 win percentage. When they get on the board first, they've scored first here in this game tonight, so they're going to try and follow up that good record. And the good thing for Edmonton is they were able to tie it up right away and get back into the game.
11-1-1 are the Phoenix Coyotes when they scored first so far this season. Nugent Hopkins gets checked, but it comes back down to Grebeshkov right in front of the Coyotes bench. Eberle, his own zone, finds Hall. Hall gets by Morris. Centering pass, and that is tipped away and sent up into the seats.
That was a great stick right there and a good drive wide. Good move right at the blue line by Taylor Hall, who's got his feet underneath him again in this game tonight to squeeze through Derek Morris. Watch Schlemko get down, though, lays the body down, takes away Eberle, but also gets the stick out and deflects this one up over top of the glass for the trailer coming late. So an excellent defensive play by the Edmonton native, denying Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was the intended target, from getting that pass.
Trying to make up for what happened in the first period when he gave it away to Arcabello.
Absolutely. Nice little redemption right there.
Arcabello out there with Perron and Yakupov, and we have got a penalty. And the Oilers are going to get their first opportunity with the power play as Michael Stone, who was feisty just a minute ago, is in the box.
And that carries over, and I believe it's a high stick or an elbow here as he gets up aggressively off the faceoff. So, or hooking, one of the three. We'll give it here, but battle off the faceoff ensues, and right there gets up aggressively into David Perron.
Well, Louis, you talked about the power play in the practice that the Oilers went through yesterday. They'll try and put it into practice right now. They were 0 for 6 in that game against Dallas. 1 power play goal in their last 4 games. But a 6th-ranked power play at home goes to work for the first time in this game. Hall on the half wall, goes down low. Switches up there with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Hopkins goes cross ice. Eberle finally shoots. It's blocked by Morris. Eberle on the retrieval. Jordan Eberle gives it to David Perron. Perron back up top for Justin Schultz. Schultz now to Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins shot stopped by Ekman Larsson. Nugent-Hopkins gets it back again. He'll play it back to Justin Schultz. Down to Perron. David Perron down low looking in front for Eberle. He tips it wide. Perron gets it back to Eberle, who gets it back to Schultz, who steps into a shot, and that one was blocked before it could get through by David Moss. Vermette battles against Schultz to bring it out. The Oilers will have to clear. Perron does. The Oilers regroup. Here comes Eberle with speed across the line. He'll give it to Hall. Wrist shot, and that one whistles wide. Shot so hard, Louis, it comes all the way back down into Oiler territory.
A little frustration there by Taylor Hall, too. I like the little quick reload by Edmonton to get going aggressively right away. Nice little dish by Eberle to Hall, and he shoots it. But a couple opportunities to get shots away a little quicker for Edmonton. They don't. And an aggressive penalty kill is able to kill off some good chances.
3 blocks for the Phoenix Coyotes on this penalty kill. Halpern's shot goes wide. 30 seconds left to go in the penalty to Stone. Hamsky hassled by Halpern and is picked up by Klinkhammer, and Rob Klinkhammer sends it down the ice. 27th ranked penalty killers are the Phoenix Coyotes. A little bit better on the road. They're 18th. Yakupov, 4 power play goals for him so far this season. Around the boards for Hamsky. Now Gagne on the far side leaves for Smith. Ryan Smith to Hamsky. Ales Hamsky. Penalty is over. Teams at even strength. Oilers, though, in possession. Hopping over the stick of the Gagne, and it comes to Hansel. No shots for the Oilers on that power play. Gagne will give it to Petrie. 12-10, the shots favor the Coyotes in a 1-1 game. Hall to Perron, back to Hall. Here's Hall, and he couldn't get the backhand. Nice give and go with Perron. Loose puck for Perron. Chance for Arcabello denied. Hall going after it. He'll play it around the near side. Andrew Ferentz keeps it in. The backhand left for Hall by Perron. Tried to get it back to him. Cut off there by Yandel, but Perron's got it again. Perron now checked by the veteran Doan. A nice little give and go, Louis, between Perron and Hall.
I'll tell you what, Taylor Hall just came out and is fired up once again, flying down that left side.
Tipped in by Radim Vrbata. Nice setup by Mike Ribeiro. And the Coyotes have the lead back.
Well, so often it happens. A great chance at one end leads to a little regroup and a transition to the other side, and that's exactly what happens here. Taylor Hall with a ton of speed jumps on the ice. Perfect pass by Perron, but can't go to the backhand. And they get another chance after that, and then Mike Ribeiro just with a great pass over to Radim Vrbata, who just slips in backdoor. Everybody puck watching here. Nobody takes one of the deadliest snipers on Phoenix, Radim Vrbata to the net, and he puts it upstairs over top of Dubin. Perfect shot.
Vrbata with a 5-game point streak has 2 points tonight. He had 3 points the last time these teams met with 3 assists. Here he's got a goal and an assist. And Mike Ribeiro gets his 11th assist of the season, 8-point in 9 games. Smith with the puck now. Ryan Smith back to the point. Justin Schultz shot, and that one dribbles wide. Good screen in front by Will Acton. Schultz at the point again. Grebeshkov on a backhand that to Acton. It was cut off by David Moss, and Moss leads the rush. Drop pass. Here's Yandel right down Broadway, and that shot goes wide.
Wow, that's a couple times we've seen a Phoenix Coyote with just too much time walking down the middle of the ice in the offensive zone.
Pressure now. Bodker's shot stopped by Dubnyk. Bodker gets that puck back again. Here is Bodker. He is stopped. Ribeiro's at the blue line. He'll throw it towards the net, and he scores. Doan was providing the screen in front. A soft shot by Mike Ribeiro finds the back of the net, and suddenly it's 3-1.
And just a knuckle puck that finds its way through. I do believe it was redirected on the way, but watch this. Everybody again just kind of skating around, not really watching what's happening, leaving that middle of the ice open. And for Ribeiro, it's a smart little play. He gets this puck, Bodker lodges it loose, and look at the head up. I got to get this down into the danger zone as he knows he's got his captain down low. I'm not sure if Shane Doan deflects this one, but it takes a funny hop and somehow finds its way through Devan Dubnyk, who wasn't too sharp on that one.
But Shane Doan in front. And he got a piece of that weak shot from Mike Ribeiro. And Ribeiro's got 2 assists and 2 goals in less than a minute for the Phoenix Coyotes to give them a 3-1 lead. Doan gets his 42nd point in his 62nd career game against the Edmonton Oilers.
We talked about the captain in the opening, Kevin, and how at 37 years old, still one of the harder working guys on the team. Last off the ice in practice and on pace for his 12th or more goal season, so not slowing down at 37 years of age. Says he'll play till they pick him off the ice.
He said even after he retires, he's still going to come out and skate.
We just won't know about him. Yeah, loves to be out there.
Oilers have some work to do. Hall to Eberle. Eberle check. Nugent Hopkins to Hall. Here's Hall out in front for Eberle. Stopped by Smith. The top line trying to respond. Nugent Hopkins steals it away from Bodker. Hall stays on side. And a penalty coming, so the top line gets them a power play. Derek Morris is going to the box. When we come back, the Oilers will be on the power play.
Derek Morris in the penalty box for hooking, and we'll try and hook you into watching a couple of matches. Tomorrow afternoon, second place Chelsea pays a visit to the Stadium of Light as Sunderland looks to improve. That match is on Sportsnet West, Pacific East, and Ontario at 12:30 p.m. Mountain. At the same time on Sportsnet World, third place Manchester City heads south to West Brom as City looks to close the gap on league leaders Arsenal.
A big power play coming up for the Edmonton Oilers. Derek Morris is in the box. The Oilers, Louis, did not generate a shot. They need something here.
You would like a chance to win seats as well.
And Smith handles an easy shot and then dives out and covers up the rebound.
Yeah, this would be a good time for Edmonton to sharpen their skills a little bit on the power play and get something generated. And as you mentioned, the last power play they had didn't generate a chance against. They did move the puck around very well, but they didn't get it to the net. And that's something we talked about, that urgency to get a puck to the net with bodies in front, keep it simple. And back to basics was the game plan yesterday in practice, working on the power play for Dallas Eakins. So we'll see if they carry that forward here in the second opportunity with the man advantage.
Starts with a face-off win. You can check that box. All had trouble at the point. The Oilers had to regroup. They bring it back in. Here's Eberle around the boards for Perron. David Perron back to the point. Justin Schultz with it now. He's got Nugent Hopkins on the near side. Nugent Hopkins down low for Hall. Hall works his way out, fires a shot. Nugent Hopkins looking for the rebound. Nugent Hopkins on the other side. He'll give it to Schultz. Schultz has Hall for the one-timer. Back to Nugent Hopkins. He snaps a shot, and that one goes wide. Picked up by Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall hangs on. Schultz has got it. Nugent Hopkins, Perron in front. Nugent Hopkins to Eberle. Eberle back up top to Schultz. Schultz with a wrist shot through traffic. That is blocked by David Moss, and Moss sends it the length of the ice. The penalty killers and the power play will change up now. 55 seconds left to go in the second power play of the game for the Oilers. Hard work down there by Jordan Schwartz. He gets it to Halpern, 2 fourth-liners on the penalty kill for Phoenix. Gagne with it now. Gagne cross ice to Hemsky. Ales Hemsky cutting for the net against Schlemko. Hemsky to Smith. Smith back to the point. Beloff to Gagne. Gagne lost the handle and it's picked up there by Murphy. Connor Murphy, 3-on-2 shorthanded. Couldn't get the shot away, but a penalty coming, and it will be a slashing call.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Brian Smith in the box, Louis, for slashing.
And it's a little ticky-tackish, a one-handed here as he comes back and just swipes the stick towards the body. So I don't think it was a real aggressive one. It was on the stick, so I could see why he was a little unhappy heading to the penalty box on that call there.
We will play 4-on-4 for the next 20 seconds. That's how long Derek Morris will be in the penalty box. Arcabello and Jones are up front on this 4-on-4 against Hansel and Verbata. Hansel throwing his weight around. He knocked down Beloff, and that's not easy. Beloff's a big guy. Ferentz leads the rush. Here comes Andrew Ferentz. Plays it behind the net. Smith's going to play it himself as Morris is out of the penalty box. The Oilers are shorthanded now for the next minute and 34 seconds. This will be the third power play of the game for the Phoenix Coyotes. They are 1 for 2. They've generated 6 shots with the man advantage. Pass intended for Verbata too far, and that's going to be icing against Phoenix, so the Oilers catch a break there.
Good pressure there by Acton, backtracking on the ice to force that pass a little quicker than wanted to have happen, so it draws the icing and a face-off in the offensive zone on the penalty kill, so a chance to kill a little bit more time off the easy way instead of having the face-off just to the right of your goaltender.
Acton and Perron. It's going to be Acton against Hansel in the face-off circle, and it's won by Hansel. Verbata to Yandel, gets it back again. Raheem Verbata, the second goal for the Coyotes in the second period at 6:58. He'll give it to Yandel. Yandel fires it around the boards. Romero lets it go. Verbata back to Ekman Larson. Now to Yandel. Yandel walks in, snaps a shot. Rebound covered up by Devin Dubnyk.
And the Oilers could maybe take a little page from the Phoenix Coyotes, how they move this puck around, generate shots to the net with traffic in front. It's pretty basic when you look at it. A couple passes to set it up. Yandel ensures this shot gets through to the goaltender. And Big Martin Hansel standing in front once again, looking for a redirection here, which I do believe he gets a piece of. So that's a good save by Dubnyk there to stay with that bouncing puck and cover it up with the big man in front.
Vermette doesn't like his stick. before he goes into the against Mark Arcabello. 58 seconds to go in the penalty to Ryan Smith. Arcabello 10-8 in the circle in Dallas on Sunday. Will not get a chance for this face-off. He gets kicked out. Ryan Jones will step in against Antoine Vermette. And that's the dangers of the vagaries of being a rookie in the NHL and in the face-off circle. You're always the guy getting booted out. Keith Yandel. Ribeiro stopped before he could get started by Mark Arcabello.
Good stick right there by Arcabello.
Arcabello out with Jones on this penalty kill as Ribeiro tries to bring it in. And it gets shut down the ice by Jeff Petrie. Good job by the penalty killers here for the Edmonton Oilers that now include David Perron and Will Acton. Vermette to Ribeiro. Ribeiro drops to Yandel. To the middle it goes. Here's a shot by Ekman-Larsson that goes wide. Ribeiro again. Down low. Vermette a shot as he was fed there by Shane Doan. Put it wide. And Perron breaks it up. Ekman-Larsson trying to get it in, and David Perron shut the door. Now Petrie will send it down the ice, and that will do it for the penalty. As Ryan Smith is back on the ice, the Phoenix Coyotes 1 for 3. Ribeiro with the puck now. Ribeiro to Vermette. Vermette hits a shot, and he puts it wide on the glove side. Breakaway chance now for Hall. Ekman-Larsson catching up. Hall stopped, knocked to his knees, and Ekman-Larsson does a good job of tying up Taylor Hall and taking the puck away from him.
Real good job there by Ekman-Larsson just to match that speed, not getting a little too aggressive, and at the last second just force Taylor Hall to slam on the brakes and then steals the puck off the stick.
Eberle stopped by Schlemko, picked up by Verbata. Eberle will get it back again. Eberle cross ice for Hall. Hall with Nugent Hopkins going to the front of the net. The pass for Eberle is picked off by Michael Bodker. Bodker. Drop pass, Radim Verbata. Verbata centering it. Here is Schlemko's shot. That one goes just wide. Put out in front and all the way to the other side where Hall will pick it up. Hall starts away, into the shift, just gets inside the line. Wants to get it deep because he wants to get that line off. 6 minutes to go here in the second period. A 3-1 lead for the Phoenix Coyotes. The second of 5 meetings between these teams. Louis, you want to spend New Year's Eve in Phoenix? You got no choice, big man.
We're going.
Hemsky with it now. Hemsky shot stopped by Mike Smith. And the play back to Nick Schultz, and it knocked over his stick. Devin Dubnyk sweeps it around to the near side. There is Nick Schultz. Lays it off the glass, but he was stopped by Halpert. Out in front comes Schwartz. A backhand stopped by Dubnyk. Fell off to Hemsky. Hemsky plays it to the middle, and it's picked off there by Jordan Schwartz. Schwartz, a 4th-round pick in 2009. He was recalled on October 28th. Did not dress the last 2 games for the Coyotes. Oliver Ekman-Larsson will be playing for Sweden in the Olympics. This is the kind of defense they'll expect for him in Sochi.
Need a stocking stuffer for your little fan this Christmas? Sign them up for the Oilers Kids Club presented by Save On Foods for only $10. Fans between the ages of 3 and 12 will receive exclusive Kids Club merchandise, a VIP Kids Club membership cards for 10% off all regular price merchandise offered through the Oilers store at Kingsway Mall, Rexall Place, as well on game days, and exclusive access to monthly prizes. Register before the end of January and be entered for a chance to win a pizza party. Oh, that's great. With Sam Gagne. Sign up now at edmontonoilers.com/kidsclub. We might be a little too old, guys.
Just over 5 minutes to go in the second period. 2 goals, 58 seconds apart by Phoenix. The difference right now in a 3-1 game. Schultz flips that puck in. The race for it. Murphy gets there ahead of Arcabello. Over the stick of Vermette, kept in by Perron. Arcabello waiting for it behind the net. He's got Yakupov in front. Arcabello draws a penalty from Murphy. And a hold for the youngster.
Canada Post NHL stamps and souvenirs. Available at your local post office or online at canadapost.ca/NHL.
And Kevin, a nice little job here again done by Mark Arcabello to draw this penalty on Murphy as he just keeps his feet moving. A little chip into the offensive zone. He anticipates, and gets his feet pumping here, and the wraparound by Murphy draws the holding penalty. And another power play for Edmonton, so Mark Arcobello getting a little bit more done in this game. Picked up an assist in the first period, and draws a solid penalty there to give his team the man advantage.
You mentioned the third chance with man advantage. The Oilers have generated just one shot so far with the power play. Eberle goes cross ice, picked up by Perron. Perron, slap pass in front. Hall with the tip. Smith made the save. Taylor Hall with one power play goal on the season. Perron circles the net. He'll play it around the boards. Hall waiting for it there. Give it to Eberle. Back to the point. Perron can't keep it in. Just over 4 minutes left to go here in the second period. Justin Schultz to David Perron. Perron, nice pass to Nugent Hopkins. Spins to try and get away from Rob Flinthammer. Nugent Hopkins will play it back to Schultz at the point. He'll go cross ice. Eberle gives it right back to Schultz. Now to Eberle. Eberle waits. Nugent Hopkins fires a shot. He was trying to go stick side, and he just missed.
Oh boy, he had a wide open net there. I like the play. I like the shot by Nugent Hopkins, and he had a nice little lane right to the net to take it there, just missing wide with that shot. But I like the shooter's mentality on that play.
Here's a pair of power play goals. That unit goes off. Gagne, Smith, Hemsky up front as it's sent down the ice. 40 seconds left to go. Anton Beloff will go back and get it. Yakubov, the other member of this power play unit. Yakubov winding up as Gagne comes through the middle. Now to Hemsky. Hemsky gets stopped. Beloff trying to keep it in. Can't do it. Here's Halpern on a break. Halpern moving in, shorthanded. Halpern, Dietzen could not get the shot away. Good recovery there by Beloff. The Phoenix Coyotes do not have a shorthanded goal this season. Gagne, pass for Smith, just out of his reach. Time winding down. And the penalty to Murphy. Tipped in by Hansel, and that will do it. Connor Murphy, first-round draft pick in 2011. The 20-year-old's out of the box, and the Oilers are now 0 for 3 with a man advantage.
Yeah, it's incredible, and only one for the last 28 for Edmonton with the man advantage. As you mentioned, they won 11 power play goals in the previous 9 games, before only one in the last 4. So just a team that struggled with the man advantage as of late. Can't seem to get anything generated. A better power play there, this one, as they do generate a couple high-quality chances, but also give up a pretty darn good short-handed chance again.
Perron gets separated from the puck by Hansel. Kennedy trying to chip it in, and a good defensive play there by Petrie forces an offside. Well, Taylor Hall with the tip, but Mike Smith makes the save. He's made 15 of them so far in this game.
Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Kraft Salad Dressing. The Goals for Heroes program is proudly sponsored by Cenovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Cenovus will donate $400 to Valor Place Military Family Support House. To date, the Oilers have scored 74 goals for a total of $29,600.
The Edmonton Oilers, Kevin, are going to get another chance at the power play here as the Phoenix Coyotes caught for too many men, too many guys jumping over, not enough guys going off, and because that puck was played right there by an oncoming player, they'll be short-handed again.
Fourth power play for the Oilers. Schultz able to keep it in. Morris could not generate enough on that one to get it out. The Oilers will try and take advantage now. Less than 2 minutes to go in this period. Justin Schultz back at the point. Hops over the stick of Eberle right to Perron. He'll snap it back to Schultz. Nugent Hopkins goes cross ice. Eberle with Perron in front. Eberle, Nugent Hopkins, Eberle, backhand. That gets stopped by the veteran Morris, and it's sent all the way down the ice. Halpern and Hansel, along with Ekman, Larson, and Stone now the penalty killers. Halpern had that shorthanded chance. Eberle, nice move around Ekman, Larson. Perron fired a shot from a sharp angle. That missed. And that means Halpern's got it. Avoids the big hit from Hall as he gets it down the ice. Hansel going after Schultz. Picked up now by Perron. A minute to go in the period. A minute to go in the power play. Hall fighting against Vermette. Vermette knocks him down. Centered out in front. There's a shot. Scores. David Perron. power play marker. The Oilers have cut the lead to 1 goal. And now Ekman-Larsson and Perron do a little pushing and shoving in the spotlight. Vermette comes in. Hull takes him.
And it was the verbal abuse afterwards by David Perron. You know, I had a little chuckle when I saw him fire that shot right from the goal line, but he has scored a couple goals this year from there, and he wants to shoot from everywhere. Give him credit. He's the one guy in the power play right now that wants to shoot the puck. So he takes the puck, he shoots it, but here's the goal afterwards. They come down, the puck works itself deep, and what a move here by Taylor Hall to stay with that battle, get it down low, on the tape of Perron, off the tape of Perron, on a real nice pass that finds him in the high slot by Hemsky. Tape to tape, and he puts it home for his second goal of the game and cuts the lead to 1.
His 11th goal of the season and 6th on the power play. For David Perron, Hemsky getting the assist. And the Oilers make it a 3-2 game.
And afterwards, it was the little verbal jab there by Perron. He said something to Smith as he skated into the pile. Ekman-Larsson didn't like it too much. So he came in and had words with David Perron. We've seen this from Perron before. He loves to agitate the opposing goaltenders. And Ekman-Larsson didn't like it, so we'll watch to see if that brews into anything more in this game as it goes on.
Ales Hemsky gets the assist, his 10th helper of the year. And Hemsky's got 3 points in his last 3 games. 19:08, the time of the goal. And the Oilers power play clicks. And with that second Edmonton goal, and on behalf of Safeway and Kraft Salad Dressing, Christopher Lozinski of St. Albert has won the Men's Bulova Marine Star Chronograph watch on the goal by David Perron. Hemsky and Hall get the assists. And the Oilers have 11 power play goals at home. They came in ranked number 6. They connect on their 4th chance and are right back in this hockey game. 29.5 seconds left to go in the second period.
You know, when things aren't going well, like David Perron, we've seen him start to get a little feisty out there and be that little bit of an agitator on the ice and going after the right guy. Mike Smith has given up 4 goals or more in the 4 losses in the last 5 games by the Phoenix Coyotes, so they're hoping that maybe tonight he'll follow suit if they get in his grill a little bit. David Perron's been known to get in the grill a few goalies this year.
And knocked down Ekman-Larsson right after scoring that goal as well. Shane Doan gets stopped by Schultz. 5 seconds left to go in the period.
Here, Michael. Here.
And that's going to do it. The Oilers give up 2 goals in 58 seconds, but come back with a late power play goal at 19:08 to cut the lead to 1. When we come back from the break, we're going to hear from the insiders. It's Rogers Oilers hockey right here on Sportsnet.
Well, things opening up a little bit more in period number 2 on the part of the Edmonton Oilers and Phoenix Coyotes. It is the Coyotes that lead by 1 after 2 periods of play between the 2 teams. And second intermission, time for more from Mark Spector. And I think it was 58 seconds is how fast those 2 goals went in on the part of the Phoenix Coyotes. Is it how fast they went in or how they went in that bothers you the most?
Well, the fact is that you work, when you're the Edmonton Oilers, so hard to catch up from the hole you dug in the first half part of the season, and you're playing a team that's ahead of you in the standings that you're chasing, and you give them 2 goals that they don't have to work for. Phoenix is known for their work ethic. They're going to score some goals on you because they're going to work real hard and earn them. They didn't work hard during that one. Petrie and Arcabella were watching Bravada stand around the zone and score. They didn't work hard on this one. This is a floater that somehow, some way gets in your net. Lordy, it's hard enough to keep teams off the scoreboard without handing 3 goals. And you know why? Because you're not playing hard like 57 on every shift. Watch this kid. Not only does he shoot, which we like to see, now watch him. A little yap at the goaltender, Mike Smith. Someone else is going to get in his face here. Ekman-Larsson doesn't like him much. I think here comes Vermette. He doesn't like him either. Why don't they like David Perron? I'll tell you why. Because he's a pain in the butt to play against, and he works hard every shift of the night. They need 19 other guys doing it, Gino. They're not going to pull this one out of the fire.
Not much time left, but how much do you like David Perron, and has he surprised you with what you just talked about?
Well, I think they just folded up the Magnus Pajärvi fan club here in Edmonton. This kid just got so much fire. He's everything the Oilers have lacked. Not only is he a disturber, Gino, but he delivers on the score sheet. He's an all-around player, and Craig MacTavish is clearly the best move he's made as the Oilers GM thus far.
All right, the two guys who deliver in the booth. Louis and Kevin.
All right, boys. Thanks very much. Specs fired up. Let's take a look at our scoring summaries brought to you by Worley Parsons Court.
1 goal apiece in that first period. Bodker for Phoenix and Perron for the Edmonton Oilers. In the second period, it was the Phoenix Coyotes that got things started with 2 quick goals in 58 seconds. Radim Vrbata with his 9th, Shane Doan with his 12th, and David Perron with his 11th on a power play goal, 1 for 4 in that second period. The Edmonton Oilers were on the power play, but it gets them to within 1 with 20 to go.
David Perron, 11 minutes and 20 seconds of work. He took 3 shots. 2 of them found the back of the net. The Oilers trying to come back for the 3rd time this season when trailing after 40 minutes. Sam Gagner, Ales Hemsky, and Ryan Jones will start this 3rd period against the Hansel line. It now has Jim Chura on it instead of Tim Kennedy. Stone to Vrbata, tipped by him, but he got a piece of it, did Andrew Ference, so no icing. Hemsky flips it to the middle, just out of the reach of Ryan Jones. Coyotes 4th in the Pacific Division, 15-7-4 coming into this one. The Oilers 9-17-2. And the last 5 games, Louis, have been win-loss, win-loss, win for the Edmonton Oilers, trying to string together a couple of wins and this roll that they're on going. Vermette takes away Nugent-Hopkins, but Everly nice past the Hall, and he gets stopped before he can get going. By Schlemko, Doan back the other way. Shane Doan centering pass. Picked up by Bodker, back to the point. Fired by Stone. First save of the period for Devan Dubnyk. Oliver Ekman-Larsson back to the point. Covering was Bodker. He'll throw it behind the net. There's the captain, Doan. Cut off by Nugent-Hopkins. Vermette goes and gets it. Nice pass to Bodker with a shot right on. Dubnyk the save. He'll hang on.
Couple good chances created there. And Ekman-Larsson, another good shift by him. He's played very well again in this game when you look at what he's done this year. And back on October 26th, 3 points in that game. The game-winning goal, and leads all Coyote defensemen with 18 points. First in the National Hockey League with 19 goals by defensemen, the Phoenix Coyotes are, and Ekman-Larsson is a big part of that offense.
Speaking of offense, Derek Morris gets the assist added on that first goal by Radim Vrbata. And the second period. Coyotes with pressure on now, second shift in a row. Rob Klinkhammer behind the net. He'll give it to Moss right out in front, and it just got by Mike Ribeiro. Ribeiro's got it again. Ribeiro behind the net, out in front, and batted in by David Moss, and it is waved off immediately with that high stick. So it stays a 3-2 game.
For the time being, they're definitely going to go up and take a look at this one here to see if it was indeed high sticked into the net. David Moss didn't seem to think so, the way he celebrated and argued with the referee right away, but it's Ribeiro who just throws it in there, and there's the shot by Moss right there. Now, Moss is a pretty tall guy, so I mean, he's up here around shoulder height. That's a real tough one to judge whether or not it was above or below the crossbar. And he's kind of wishy-washy, I think, in his mannerisms there, and they'll take a look at this one to see if it was indeed a goal.
David Moss comes into this game without a point in his last 7. He's trying to get just his second goal of the season. They will review this back in Toronto. A minute 49 in.
And the question, the obvious question is it conclusive enough, the video, to tell you whether or not it was above or below the crossbar? That one there looks like it's a little above. Devan Dubnyk's a big guy as well, and he's reaching up over his shoulder to try and grab that puck. The call on the ice, Kevin, was no goal. So therefore it has to be conclusive, that it was indeed a legal goal for them to override that call that was on the ice. And from looking at a couple of the videos so far, I know which way I'd go with it.
Chris Rudy and Francois Saint Laurent are the referees for tonight's game.
Just a little high.
And speaking of guys in the stripes, congratulations to Greg Dvorsky, who's working the game tonight. He'll be headed to Sochi as one of the 13 referees and linesmen that have been chosen to work the Olympics in 2014 in February.
Yeah, great honor for him. As he looks on, waiting still to figure out what's going on with this goal, but looks like they have a decision made.
Here it comes. And the call will stand as the audio problems, but the hand gesture from Saint Laurent tells you everything you need to know. It stays a 3-2 game.
And you know, originally I saw David Moss turn right away to the referee. When he went back to the bench, he kind of gave that little smirk like, you know what, it was pretty close. And it did look like he was indeed a little bit over top of the shoulder of Devin Dubnyk because he was reaching up for that one there. So the call on the ice stands. A good call by the referee to call that a no-goal.
Stays a 3-2 game as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will line up against Mike Ribeiro. Ribeiro wins that draw, but it wins it all the way back to Mike Smith. Smith to Ekman Larson. The Klinkhammer, and that one gets deflected up into the seats and a scramble for that souvenir.
No, I like the fact that Justin Schultz was right there to meet that pass. So the Phoenix Coyotes trying to break out of their zone. Good aggressive play on the offensive blue line, not allowing just an easy exit out of your zone. Schultz stands up, creates the puck up over top of the glass, and as a result, a good face-off in the offensive zone for Edmonton.
Louis talked about it in his keys to the game as trying to heat up at home. This is the first of 5 at home for the Edmonton Oilers, who come into this game. They're 5-2 record in their last 7 games. And as Louis pointed out, just 3 wins at home. This would be the time to get hot with Colorado here on Thursday, Calgary here on Saturday.
And you know, when you look at what's happened in this game, 2 quick goals in that second period, 58 seconds apart, 0 for 3 in the first 3 power plays that Edmonton has. They do finally get one in the 4th to make it a 3-2 game, a goal called back. They've had a lot of things kind of go their way to keep them alive in this game. And with 17:55, Edmonton still has a chance here to be right back in this one with a goal.
On the face-off, Revishkov against Verbata. Here's Verbata with a wrist shot. Big rebound. Chipchura going after it, but Devin Dubnyk made the save. Eberle back the other way to Hall. Hall coming across the line, and a pad save by Smith. An awkward save by number 41. Eberle. Nugent-Hopkins avoids the hit from Hansel. Here's Nugent-Hopkins trying to dangle. Almost got it home. Smith got the pad down. Eberle thrown down by Hansel, who gets it to Chipchura. Hansel plays it to Stone. To the middle to Verbata. He was checked there by Denis Grebeshkov. Eberle off the board for Nugent-Hopkins. Up against Stone in the corner. Stone wins the battle, gets it to Kyle Chipchura. Martin Hansel to Verbata in the middle, flips it in. They want to head off. Andrew Ference leads the rush for the Oilers. 22 shots for the Coyotes, 18 for the Oilers. Eric Morris against Will Acton. Let go quickly to Schwartz. Jordan Schwartz. His pass intended for Halpern was behind him. Petrie gets checked. The puck comes free. And Smith will give it to Joensuu. He'll play it back to Petrie. Up the middle for Acton. That gets broken up. Kennedy on that 4th line. He and Chipchura. Switch spots as Ference almost faked out Smith.
Fake dumping shot by Ference. I don't mind that right there. That was a good one.
Schwartz against Ference. Ference takes him down, and that allows Arcobello to get the puck. Petrie to Perron. Perron with 2 goals on the night. David Perron shoots it in. Smith can't stop it. Yakupov checked there by Murphy. And it is Bodker who comes away to Yandel. Gets it back again. Miguel Bodker shoots it in, and Devin Dubnyk slows it up long enough for Nick Schultz. Anton Belov lays it up the wall for Perron. Perron to the middle it goes. Moving in, Arcobello lost the handle, poked ahead by Belov into the ship for those guys. 15.5 minutes left to go in regulation time. Shane Doan backhands it in. Ryan Jones has time because the Phoenix Coyotes are making changes. Moss and Doan combine to create a turnover out in front. Ribeiro scores. David Moss, Shane Doan set that one up. Finished off by Mike Ribeiro, who's got a three-point night.
Well, once again, a great chance at one end. And a save for the Phoenix Coyotes. They come down and score at the other. It was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Watch the edge work here. A little slam on the break. Walks around Hansel. Brings it through and just kind of works it towards the net. Hits the pad of Smith. And then down the other way. Just a little mishap here. Good forecheck by Doan to create the turnover. Moss digs it loose. And Mike Ribeiro just comes in untouched into the high slot once again. Nobody takes him. And he has a lot of time to pick the corner on Devin Dubik there for a 4-2 lead.
They restore their two-goal margin as a bouncing puck comes to Smith and he steers it aside. So David Moss denied a goal, gets the assist. Now has 1 point in his last 8 games. He's got 8 helpers. And Shane Doan now also has 10 assists on the year. Mike Ribeiro with 3 points on the night. Schultz steps into a shot that gets deflected high and wide. Stone sends it around the boards. Grebeshkov able to keep it in. Stone then knocked down Jordan Eberle. Grebeshkov, Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins gets it to Hall, and offside is Justin Schultz, and he's not the least bit happy about that.
Oilers fans, want to be on the Rogers road trip to Vancouver? Text road trip to 555 for your chance to win. Rogers and Fido customers only.
14:29 left to go here in the third period. And the Edmonton Oilers see the Coyotes have 1 goal called back. But then 2 veteran guys, Louis, combined to get the puck free for Mike Ribeiro, who's hot right now.
Yeah, he really has 2 assists and a goal already in this game for Ribeiro, and just finds himself in a spot. So good at finding that little quiet space in behind people. He gets lost, he gets found, puts it in the back of the net, and extends the lead to 2 for Phoenix.
These teams, as we mentioned, will be together on December 31st. They'll play back here on January 24th and then wrap up the series April 4th. That game will be in Phoenix. So 5 meetings between these 2 Pacific Division rivals. Kind of still sounds strange to say that.
Yeah.
Colorado Avalanche, of course, coming into town on Thursday. Northwest Division rivals for the Oilers. Now they're in the Central. Verbata to the middle for Hansel. Broken up there by Ferentz. Hansel tries to muscle it by him. Ferentz will not have any of it. And Yakubov comes away with the puck to Petrie. Jeff Petrie retreats, gets some space. Now to Acton. Will Acton at center. Across the blue line. Acton joined by Yakubov. Acton throws it in front. Smith kicks it away, but there's Joensuu. Toe drag with the shot that goes wide. Verbata. Kind of jumping in, knocked down there smartly by Belloff. Joensuu comes cross ice. Picked up by Nick Schultz. He chops at it. And Schultz will start away. Joensuu, hard pass off the boards, came right to Acton, got by him. Butker was there. Vermette plays it back to Schlemko. Schlemko and Morris on the defense. Butker was all tied up, couldn't receive the pass, and here comes Gagne. Gagne moving in. Sam Gagne circles the net. Joensuu and Smith are in front. Gagne turns, throws it behind the net. Smith waiting for it there. Joensuu in support. Jesse Joensuu back to the point. Nick Schultz with it now. Schultz, Bella, quick pass, and that's intercepted by Derek Morris. As Coach Dallas Eakins has gone into the blender a little bit, Louis, to try and find an offensive answer.
Just trying to find a spark right now, down by 2 in this third period with just over 12 minutes to play. So, yeah, shuffling the deck a little bit, getting some different bodies on the ice, and trying to find some energy.
Gagne to Hemsky. Alex Hemsky just couldn't get the backhand away and went off the end of his stick. But Grebeshkov from the point, his shot goes wide. Halpern picks it up on the far side. He can't get it out. Ekman Larsson finds an open wing and sends the puck down the ice. Alex Hemsky got there ahead of Jordan Schwartz. Brian Jones up the middle. Jones with Hemsky and Gagne. Jones back to the point. Schultz with a wrist shot through traffic, and Smith makes the save. And now Gagne and Stone exchange a few cross checks. Before things break up, Sam Gagne is still trying to recover from that busted jaw, so he's not going to be dropping the gloves. We'll be back to Rexall Place right after this. Outstanding play, outstanding results is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Well, it was the goal that made it 3-2 in the second period. And it was the second goal for David Perron in this game as he just finds himself into his spot in the high slot. Great work by Hall to get it down to Hemsky on the tape, off the tape, into the back of the net for David Perron, his 11th of the year. And that made it 3-2 at that time. The Phoenix Coyotes have since added another one to make it 4-2.
10 is the right number, Louis. 10 points in his last 8 games.
That's sold him short.
The Oilers are short 2 right now with 11 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the third period. Trying to get a little revenge for a 5-4 loss they suffered at the hands of these Coyotes on October 26. Nugent Hopkins gets around Schlemko. Behind the net. Paul Eberle. You're going to see a lot of ice here with the team down by 2. Nugent Hopkins, short little pass to Eberle. He'll go behind the net for Hall. Hall pinned there by Schlemko. The puck comes back to Taylor Hall. Hall has it hop over the stick of Beloff on that pass as Beloff was down low. And then it gets deflected by Hansel up into the seats.
It's game day at Hudson's. Half off wings and pints of Molson Canadian every time Edmonton plays all day long. Hudson's, Canada's pub.
Well, Dallas Eakins, I guess if you're half full, the team did score a power play goal. They had just one power play goal in their last 4 games. But they give up a goal at 4:46 of the third period to Mike Ribeiro, who was all alone in front and has put the Oilers back down by 2. Yakupov hauled down by Vermette. Play continues. David Perron with it now. Perron gets away from Connor Murphy.
Bodker, second effort right there by Murphy. He was beat by Perron, but he just kind of swung the stick at the last second, broke it up.
Here's Perron with a nice pass to Ferris. Ferris with a slot pass. Looking for Arcabello. Tries to center it out in front. Yakupov with a chance. Wrap around by Perron. Denied by Mikhail Bodker. Bodker dead tired at the end of his shift. Yandel will bring it in. Yandel with a great move. Fires a shot and scores. Keith Yandel undresses Jeff Petrie and then fires it upstairs to make it a 5-2 game.
That's the third time in this game. There's been a great chance at one end that's been denied and a goal on the other end. So just that type of a game for Edmonton right now. Generating chances, getting a puck into the blue paint. It's David Perron that tries to wrap it through. Good defensive play by Bodker just to deny him of bringing that puck into the net. As Smith was out of the play, and on the ensuing rush down the ice, Keith Yandel just jumps up, nice move inside out, and just rips it home over top of the glove of Devin Dubé. That thing was in and out before I think most knew it was in the net. And look at the celebration there by Yandel, giving his team a 3-goal lead.
He's got 2 goals on the season. Both of them have come against the Edmonton Oilers. Had a power play goal and an assist the last time these teams met. And now has his second goal of the year. At 9:33, an unassisted marker. And Yandel now has 18 points on the year.
Yeah, hard to believe. A guy that loves to shoot the puck as much as Yandel and gets it through often on the power play only has 2.
Lost his shot deflected by Beloff wide.
Especially with a shot like you just saw. That was a ripper.
The U.S. Olympic team is going to be happy to have Keith Yandel on the blue line. Ekman Larson, opportunity for Moss. A goal waved off earlier. He gets one here, and it's half a dozen for the Coyotes.
Yeah, and again, just simple plays by them. Good work again in the offensive zone to stay with the forecheck after this play goes down. A little cycle and then working the puck to the net with bodies in front. No magic involved here. Just a little bit too loose on the entry by Edmonton, allowing this to go a little deep. Full possession. No longer good hit separating man for puck. 2-on-1, outnumbered down low. And they're just staying in the battle. And this one here, a little redirection by Moss, and he stays with his own rebound to jam it home. out battling Beloff in front. So just a workmanlike goal by this line of Phoenix, going out there, crashing and banging, and it pays off with a 6th goal for Phoenix.
Ekman Larsson and Halpern get the helpers on that goal by David Moss at 10:15. 2 goals, 42 seconds apart. 2 goals in the second period, Louis, 58 seconds apart. 2 goals here in the third, 42 seconds apart. And it's 6-2 for the Coyotes, who came into this game with the 4th-ranked offense in the league. And they're showing you why here.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was going to be one of these types of games, as both teams are playing pretty defensive, but it's opened up here in this third period.
David Moss. This time he's down low, no doubt about that one.
Now it's time to live the game with Windows. And tonight we take a look at the Oilers farm team in the American Hockey League, the Oklahoma City Barons, and you click the link to the individual stats. And Linus Ullmark currently leading the team in points. A reminder, live the game with Windows. And just to update you, OKC losing a heartbreaker tonight, 5-4 to Texas.
9:08 to go here in the third period. A 6-2 lead for the Phoenix Coyotes, who have scored let me do the math again, 11 goals against the Oilers in 2 games. And they look for more here. And trying to find it from their 4th line.
Yeah, and you can tell they're hungry for more, too. They're just driving to the net, throwing pucks into the blue paint, jamming away, and it's been the game plan all night long for Phoenix. The one thing they've done very well is get pucks in behind of Edmonton and establish a forecheck, and then just everything buzzing towards the net with active sticks. This one here eventually gets covered up by Devin Dubnyk, and the whistle blows.
Basically, the team without Lori Korpikoski or Zdeněk Michalek, both hurt, could be back soon. The Oilers, of course, missing Ilya Bryzgalov and Boyd Gordon. Gordon missing his 2nd game, and the description of the injury was like, take your pick on the body part, knuckle, leg, back. But the Oilers do miss him, especially in the dock. Knocked down to the high stick. Perron picks it up. David Perron gives it to Grebeshkov. Down low, Arcabello. Arcabello throws it out in front. Justin Schultz keeps it in. Here's Schultz. He'll take a shot, and that one goes wide. Arcabello on the far side, able to keep it in. Round the net it goes. Smith will stop it there. Stolen by Yakupov. Nail Yakupov takes it away from Connor Murphy. Yakupov turns from the blue line. David Perron with the puck. Sips it across to Schultz. He'll chop it in for Arcabello. Watched by Yandel. Out in front, and then cut by Perron. Not by Schultz, though. That was tipped. Here is Yakupov's shot. That gets blocked. And Doan picks it up, and Shane Doan slowly works his way to center. And then just shoots it in, and will peel off on a line change. 28 shots for the Coyotes, 24 for the Oilers. A long, hopeful pass ends up in an icing call, and that means Gene's going to talk.
Yes, Kevin and Louie, a reminder, shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts, and you could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca.
Gene, you won't have to wait for that future Oilers telecast. It'll come up on Thursday when the Colorado Avalanche pay a visit. Klinkhammer let a shot go, and Dubnyk made this save. Moss hit the side of the net, but he gets the puck back again. Ekman Larsson at the point, moves to the middle, tries to get one through, blocked by Joensuu. Grebeshkov working against Doan, or against Moss, that is. Ribeiro. Ekman Larsson, his shot through traffic. Traffic provided by David Moss. Beloff. Cross-ice pass gets knocked down, and it gets knocked down with a high stick. And a little more pushing and shoving. Joensuu and Klinkhammer having some words.
That was after a little shot he gave David Moss on the follow-through as the whistle was going, kind of finished his check all the way through, and Klinkhammer has a few words for him, and a couple guys on the bench as well. So a little testy down there in a 6-2 game. You can expect that a little bit. And you saw that last little wrist shot by Ekman Larsson. Such a zinger that comes off of his stick with no windup whatsoever, and that one had eyes as well. So Phoenix not backing off, taking the foot off the pedal.
Ekman Larsson picking up an assist on that goal by David Moss at 10:15. Came in 7th among defensemen in points. He has added to that total tonight.
Reminder to our Alberta hockey fans who will get 4 games in 75 hours right here on Sportsnet. Tomorrow it's Flames hockey on Sportsnet West as Calgary hosts Phoenix at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and then Colorado. And first look at Nathan MacKinnon and Patrick Waugh at the NHL level, one as a coach, one as a player, and that's on Thursday.
Martin Hanzal. He blocked a shot early in this game, and he's been kind of feisty ever since.
Yeah, him and Gagne got into it off the face-off there, exchanging some blows with the stick, and they're going at it again here. Getting a little feisty.
Chipchura to the middle to Vrbata with a backhand, stopped by Dubnyk. And he's going to hang on to it. 32nd shot fired the way of Devan Dubnyk in this hockey game.
And for Martin Hanzal, that's the game plan for him. He's a big body. He knows that he plays physical, trying to get in the grill of Gagne, which he does. And give Gagne some credit. With that face shield on, he still got involved, physically whacked away, and stayed with Big Hanzal all the way to the net, not allowing him to really have too much to do with that shot that gets through, and Dubnyk makes the save, but a little frustration coming out there in Sam Gagne as well.
Oilers gave up 45 shots in that victory against Dallas on Sunday. As I mentioned, 32 shots in this game. They are 4-10-1 when they're outshot. Stone, nice pass right at the side of the net as he tried to set up. Schwartz used the end boards and got the puck to him. Eberle takes a bump, and that is going to draw the ire of the captain, Andrew Ference. Eberle jumps in as well. Louis, you saw this brewing. And now it finally comes out as Ference has dropped his gloves.
Salzer.
And it's Jordan Schwartz.
Sorry, Schwartz.
And Ference, this is the third fight for Ference. He's got the jersey jab working, knocked the net off and the helmet of Schwartz, but he comes back with a right hand.
He's standing in there pretty good.
Ference getting the elbow pad off. He and Schwartz exchanging lefts and rights, and finally it breaks up as Andrew Ference and the youngster Jordan Schwartz go at it. We'll take a break, pick up sticks and gloves. Be right back. Play of the Game is brought to you by Rogers, featuring the Rogers road trip to Vancouver.
We saw just a little bit ago, it was a goal by Keith Yandle. Great individual effort, inside out, ripper, top shelf over the glove to make it 5-2. We'll put this game out of reach.
Oiler fans want to be on the Rogers road trip to Vancouver? Text road trip to 555 for your chance to win. Rogers Fido customers only. So Kennedy gets 2 minutes for charging, and Schwartz and Ference each get 5 for fighting. The Oilers with their 5th power play of this hockey game. And David Perron on the ice. Louis, he's got 2 goals already, one of them on the power play at 19:08 of the second period.
Yeah, it was a nice little shot, but he was in the high slot upstairs over top of Mike Smith, who got a big piece of that shot by Perron. But for David Perron, been all over the net again tonight. Lots of shots, lots of buzzing the tower, as we like to call it, getting in the grill of the opposition's goaltender. And he's been his feisty self again in this game here.
Oilers were 0 for 2 when these teams met the first time. They are 1 for 4 right now. 3 shots, but David Perron has put 2 of them by Mike Smith. Here's Perron. Back to the point. Eberle waiting for it. Gives it to Schultz. Schultz right back to Eberle. Eberle dishes off to Nugent Hopkins. He'll get it to Schultz. Perron in front. Here's Eberle. Eberle back to the point. Schultz fakes the shot. He'll give it to Nugent Hopkins, and that goes off the stick of Schlemko and up into the netting. The game review is brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Well, we talked about the Phoenix Coyotes story and how important it was for them to get out of the gates. They've done that. They have an 11-1-1 record when scoring first this season. Perron with 2 goals in this game, and Radim Vrbata continues his success against the Edmonton Oilers this season with 5 points in 2 games.
5:28 to go here. 1:35 left to go in the power play. Gagne wins that one clean, so clean it will chase the Oilers back into their own zone. Justin Schultz and Nail Yakupov are on the blue line. Hemsky up front with Gagne and Smith. Here comes Hemsky to Yakupov. Yakupov trying to get around Stone. Button hooks. He'll move back to the blue line, give it to Hemsky. Ales Hemsky goes down low. Gagne gets it there. Sam Gagne back to the point. Schultz with a wrist shot through traffic. And that one slips just wide. Ekman Larsson tried to bang it out, and Schultz did a good job of making a save, but it eventually gets sent down the ice. Sam Gagne.
Base hit by Hansel out of the air.
Hemsky fires a shot right on, and it's taken by Smith right in the dog's face.
Good save here by Smith, knowing that he had Gagne coming down, looking for a rebound. And for Hemsky, I think maybe that one got a little bit away from him, looking for maybe a pad save, juicy rebound on that shot. But Smith wisely takes it in the crest, as you mentioned, Kevin, and holds on to it.
Mike Smith, 6-1-1 for his career against the Edmonton Oilers. Trying to snap a 4-game losing streak for him.
Guy coming, guy coming.
4.5 minutes left to go. Belloff. To Eberle, to the middle, to Nugent Hopkins. He's got Hall. Here's Hall driving for the net with a backhand. Stopped by Smith. Belloff. Puck's on end. Penalty coming. No penalty. It is now get a whistle, and it's going to be an opportunity for the Oilers. Too little too late as Derek Morris is headed to the box with a 5-on-3 on the way. Carolyn Cameron, George Popoulos will have the next edition of Connected. Here's a preview.
Yes, that's right. Coming up, post-game reaction from this Oilers game, as well as highlights from around the league.
Yeah, and a massive deal in the major leagues. Jacoby Ellsbury going to the Yankees. We'll have all the details on Connected.
Thanks very much, guys. Derek Morris headed to the penalty box for slashing at 16:02.
There's just a pretty good slash en route to the net as Taylor Hall drives wide, looking to the backhand. It's Morris with the chop down on the wrist. So he'll head to the box on a 5-on-3, short one. Coming up here, I do believe some time came off the clock, and they're going to have to put it back on.
The clock now showing 4:12. It was 3:58 as it continued to run after the whistle blew. And the penalty to Tim Kennedy saw time wind down as well. They got to get that straightened out. Oilers wishing this had happened earlier in the game. They trail by 4 and are being outshot 33-26. Oilers 3-7 in their last 10 at home. Phoenix Coyotes playing their first game in the month of December for them. They were 6-4-2 in November. 5-3-2 in their last 10 on the road. Now this is proving to be some difficult math here. And now the penalty to Kennedy shows 19 seconds, and that's more like it.
That's a big difference.
Yep.
5 seconds to 19 allows Edmonton to set up. They want to score with that double man advantage to keep that second power play alive.
Vermette against Nugent Hopkins, and from the draw, right back to the point. Here's Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall waits. He'll give it to Schultz. Schultz moves to the middle, crisscrossing with Hall. Hall rips a shot. Smith the save. The rebound sent to the corner. Antoine Vermette picks it up, and Antoine Vermette runs over Hall, but he can't get the puck out. Justin Schultz will give it back to Hall. Hall fires a shot on Smith. Rebound in front. One penalty is over. Kennedy's out of the box. Oilers still on the power play for the next minute and 33 seconds. Schultz. Nugent Hopkins. Schultz has the trigger ready. Lets it go, and it shatters his stick. Eberle goes across to Nugent Hopkins. Belloff jumps on the ice. Hall at the point. Hall tries to throw it towards the net. It went off the stick of Vermette and out of play.
I don't mind the few shots that were taken there by Taylor Hall trying to get through. But you look at the last 4 games, 1 for 19. In the previous 9, 11 for 30. So just a terrific power play in the previous 9 games. Before the last 4, it's really gone cold for Edmonton. And that last little sequence there, you saw Taylor Hall with at least 4 attempted shots on net.
Shots by Schultz doesn't make it through, and the Oilers will have to go back and pick it up. There's a minute left to go, and the penalty to Derek Morris. The Oilers 1 for 5, Phoenix 1 for 3 with a man advantage. Here is Sam Gagner, and he gets hauled down and goes in hard.
Really hard.
Sam Gagner is still down behind the Phoenix bench. You could see the glass rattle as Gagner hit the deck.
He went in pretty solidly, and nice to see him up and heading to the bench, but definitely in some pain. And watch how quickly he goes in here. This is a great pass by Hemsky to find Gagner. And right there, just can't seem to get a handle on the puck. It's the long stick of Murphy that kind of digs in just a little bit into the skates. And he went in kind of backwards with his back facing into the boards. It could have been a lot worse if a limb would have been caught underneath him with that speed and pace that he was going in to the boards. But obviously knocked the wind out of him trying to get it back right now.
Ryan Smith will take this draw against Antoine Vermette. Hemsky and Arcobello join him. Schultz and Yakupov. And it's Yakupov who shoots it in. Smith plays it himself to Murphy. Almost gave it away to Ryan Smith. Vermette with possession. He'll outlet it to Moss. Moss moving in against Schultz. Moss shorthanded. Good stick there by Justin Schultz to take it away from David Moss. 24 seconds of power play time remaining for the Oilers. Hemsky. Drop pass for Arcobello. Mark Arcobello comes back to Hemsky. That didn't work. And Devin Dubnyk. The Grebeshkov not hard enough on that pass. Intercepted by Halpert. The Oilers get possession back. Morris is up. Penalty is over. Joensuu centering pass, and that one got by Nick Schultz. Just over 2 minutes left to go here in regulation time. Will Acton fires it around the boards. Ryan Jones will get to it. It's tied up in the corner. Joensuu in there shoving Hansel. Jones comes up with the puck. He's got Acton in front. Will Acton with the puck now. Acton and the fourth line with their hard hats on right now. Jones centers, and it's picked off by Verbata. Klinkhammer plays it off the glass, gets it down the ice. The Coyotes want to get a change in. A minute and a half left to go in this one. Start of a 5-game homestand for the Edmonton Oilers. We're trying to make some hay at home. Derek Morris, stopped by Yakupov, gets in his face. Remember when Nail Yakupov scored a overtime goal in Phoenix, Derek Morris was right there and watched it, and he did not take it well.
Oh, they've got a little bit of history.
Less than a minute to go. Arcobello fires a shot. Blocker save by Smith. Arcobello gets it back again. David Perron with a chance. David Perron, another shot. Yakupov a chance, and a penalty coming up for the Phoenix Coyotes as Arcobello got knocked down, and it comes with 44.2 seconds to go, and it's going to be David Perron who goes to the box, and so does Jeff Halpern.
I was wondering why it was whistled down with Perron getting the puck, but obviously two penalties on the play, and right there you saw the whack cross-check by David Perron, or the slash on Morris, I think, in behind the play. But a melee in front, good pressure by this line, again attacking the blue paint, and good defending here by the Phoenix Coyotes. You can see just boxing bodies out, Perron with the slash afterwards in frustration, as it was Halpern that took down Arcobello going to the net, so he'll sit for 2 as well. So 4-on-4 action here for 2 minutes.
Nugent Hopkins and Hall with Petrie and Schultz, and it is Nick Schultz.
Or 44.2.
Cal Chipchura will take the draw against Nugent Hopkins. From the faceoff, won by Chipchura. Yandel
limited sprint cross champion.
to Chipchura.
The Oilers number 57.
Chipchura stripped to the puck there by Nugent Hopkins, who gets it to Hall. Hall to Nugent Hopkins. Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Hang on to it. Does Nugent Hopkins. Now he'll give it to Hall. He's got Nick Schultz down low. Rebishkov. Time winding down. 10 seconds to go. The Oilers looking for the final shot of the game. Nick Schultz puts it wide. And the Phoenix Coyotes will win their 7th game on the road. And the Oilers lose their 9th here at Rexall Place. The Coyotes have taken the first 2 of the 5 meetings between these two teams. 6-2 the final.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Rogers. Live like never before. By Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. By Ford, go further. And by the Rexall family of pharmacies. Our 3-star selection is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. So Mike Ribeiro, the number 1 star this evening, as he was very strong offensively on the part of the Phoenix Coyotes, and Radim Verbata not too far behind, both with the offense and in the star selection. And the best Oiler this evening certainly was David Perron, as he now leads the team in goals after a 2-goal performance. He has 11 on the season for Edmonton. Well, the Oilers will try and recover as quickly as they can, because they will be back at it at Rexall Place in 48 hours' time. Patrick Waugh, Nathan McKinnon, and company will be here to take on an Edmonton Oilers team that will be in search of a win at home. Devin Dubnyk leading the way as the Oilers came out looking to respond after a very strong road trip in which they were able to come up with 2 victories. But in the 3rd period is when Mike Smith took the game away with some help offensively, as Taylor Hall and others were stopped. David Perron had it going, but the other Oilers didn't. It was a physical finish. We're not finished, as now we go to the Connected Studio.